In order to convert degrees to radians or radians to degrees, what we want to do is we want to come up with a conversion factor. To do that, we have to look at what is equivalent in degrees and radians. The easiest way to do that is to start off by going halfway around the circle. That is 180 degrees, which is the same as pi radians. So if we use the fraction 180 degrees over pi radians, or pi radians over 180 degrees, we can use that factor to multiply either degrees and convert them to radians, or radians and convert them to degrees. So let's start with the example of 225 degrees if we want to do that in radians. So I'm going to start with 225 degrees, multiply that by my multiplier. Well, it's either going to be 180 over pi or pi over 180. In this case, we're going to do pi over 180 degrees. Because we want our answer to end up being in radians, that has to be on top. Notice that when we do this, the degrees will cancel out. So I'll no longer have degrees as part of my answer. So then I'm going to do 225 pi radians over 180. Now, what I'm going to want to do next is reduce that fraction, which will be 5 pi over 4 radians. Now, if we want to do radians to degrees, we're going to do 4 pi over 3 times, now instead of doing pi over 180, I need to do 180 over pi. Now, the reason for that is that now I want to get my radians to cancel out, and I want my degrees to be my answer. So with radians on bottom, it cancels with radians there. Pi cancels with pi there. So when I multiply this out here, I'm going to end up with 720 over 3 degrees. And what we want to do is we want to reduce that, and that will end up being 240 degrees. So basically what we need to do is, if you're going from degrees to radians, so if you're going from degrees to radians, you multiply by pi radian over 180 degrees. If you're going from radians to degrees, you multiply by 180 degrees over pi radians.